Get ready. You're now tuned into the Fight God Show.
It's the Fight Gods. This ain't your normal. Fight hard. This ain't for mortals. Talking boxing, wrestling, and UFC, BKFC, MMA, and WWE. Fight Gods. This ain't your normal. Fight hard. This ain't for mortals. Boxing, wrestling, and UFC, MMA, BKFC, and WWE. If it's a fight, gloves on, fist tape to bare knuckles. The gloves come off when we break down the scuffle. The place to be when you looking for a rumble. We see legacies made and watch foundations crumble. Beat them clean. I ain't the one to mess with. I snap on the beat like I check the leg kick. Prodigies, who gon' be the next pick? Show the whole world something they can be impressed with. Fight Gods. This ain't your normal. Fight hard. This ain't for mortals. Talking boxing, wrestling, and UFC, BKFC, MMA, and WWE. Fight Gods. This ain't your normal. Fight hard. This ain't for mortals. Boxing, wrestling, and UFC, MMA, BKFC, and WWE.
What up, everybody? We're in the building. That intro still gets me hyped, Ben. But we're in the building. My boy Ben, the co-host, and we got Mr. Everything, Victor Andrews, aka the one and only Bert Hansen from Monday Night Raw. Vic, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
I'm chilling, man. Thank you for having me. What's going on, Ben?
Nothing much, man. It was actually a nice day up here in Maine for once. It was in the 70s, so like I can't complain.
That's what's up, man.
What's going on, Will? How you feeling?
Shit, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just chilling, man. I'm gonna tell you. Hey, look, I was telling those guys last night, but I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. So we go to Raw, and one of the matches, you could probably tell me what it was, ended, and I get up to go to the bathroom, and Nick, you know, my former co-host Nick, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, I think Victor Andrews is in the ring." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." And I'm like, "All right, yeah, cool, man." I thought Nick was just giving me a hard time. And I'm in the bathroom and like I was starting to walk to the concession stand. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's probably serious." Like, you know, being in Greensboro, I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I start like sprinting back and I got there to catch like the second half of your promo. And and they were like, "Is it Victor?" And like, you know, Steven was with me, the dude that wrestled as Eric Kane. He's like, "I think it is." I'm like, "Bro, that is 100% Victor." I was like, "There's absolutely no question about it." You know, I can see you on the Titantron or whatever, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" And man, I was really impressed, man. Real happy to have been there for it. But you know, tell us how it came to be, man. Tell us how that happened. I know it wasn't your first time on there, but you know, just go through that day, like how you ended up on the show.
I actually got a text from C.W. Anderson. You know, me and him, we trained together. He actually trained me. He texted me and he said, expect a phone call from WWE.
Mm-hmm. Who was it?
I looked at the CW.
Oh, CW. Okay. All right. That's
yeah.
What's up, man.
And I looked at my phone. I was like, yeah, he's texting the wrong person or something. Like, why would they be calling me? So I texted him. I said, like, okay. And the producer called me and he was like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm such. Want to know if you'd like to come and work for WWE. We got a show coming up in Greensboro. I got your name and your number from C.W. Anderson." I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. You know, I've never had a phone call before. The only time I've been contacted by somebody directly was with Steve Corino. You know, he works at NXT.
Right.
So he actually gave me my first spot with WWE on NXT. And so after that, you know, I was sending my availability to the casting, you know, guy and stuff like that. So I never had anybody call me and say, "Hey, we need you for this day." And I got there and did my thing. They actually had me for the next show coming up on the 16th in Norfolk, Virginia. So we'll see how many more days I get out of this. I mean,
yeah, I
think I did pretty good. And from what I've been hearing, all the feedback I've been getting, I did really good this past Monday. So let's see how many dates they'll continue to give me.
Hell yeah. Speaking of feedback, have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, some guy said Ellsworth did the pre-match jobber interview way better, and James Ellsworth said the dude did a good job. Talking about
wow.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I saw that today, man. So
Oh wow, that's awesome.
that's from you know, a word of good stuff from Jimmy. I think, what did he go by? Jimmy Love or Jimmy something. But
Something like that, yeah.
yeah, but James Ellsworth in WWE. Hey Ben, actually, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about my shirt yet, man. Have you noticed the shirt, bro? I had to wear it for Backlash.
I was trying to ignore the shirt actually, but
The shirt.
it's all right.
Shirt. That shirt is like $1 million shirt,
Something you
man.
might not know about me, Victor, is that I think I am like I have the most hatred out of anyone I've ever met for that woman.
Why?
For Ronda Rousey.
I am just not a fan. I don't understand the appeal. I've obviously followed her career since Strikeforce days. Because I was one of those dudes that thought I was cool because I watched Strikeforce and other people didn't. I just never got her appeal. She never struck me as someone that was enjoyable to be around or to watch, really. So,
I must admit, she does kind of annoy me in the ring right now.
In the ring?
Yeah, in wrestling, with WWE. It's like she still has that UFC mentality where, she gets slammed and she's getting right back up. I'm like, it's different, man. It's a little bit different now. You gotta kind of let them see that, hey, this hurt some kind of way or something. Like, sell it a little bit,
Oh yeah.
Sell a little bit more. Sell it a lot. Over exaggerated. Do something other than just jumping right back up every time you get hit. Like, I understand you're the baddest woman on the planet, but you're making yourself look bad, in my opinion. Love you, though, Ronda. Don't beat me up.
Hey, have you met her at any of the WWE shows that you've been on?
When she did her first, her first contract, I met her very briefly. Say hello and kept it going in the catering.
Right.
Which is like one of the best caterings of ever. WWE has really good food. Every time I go, it's always amazing.
Nice. That's what's up. So before we start talking about Backlash, I just wanted to show a few pictures of Victor from over the years, just some different stuff he has done for WWE. I'll start with the other night. He did the match versus Veer Mahan, and we did this. How was he to work with, man? Was he a pretty cool guy?
Oh man, he was amazing. We actually made a connection of one of the funniest things. And Will, you're gonna attest to this.
What's that?
I love milk.
Right?
Oh
yeah. Bro, he doesn't drink any water.
I don't drink any water. I drink milk before matches. I drink milk to go to bed at night, and Veer does too. That was our connection. We started talking about how great milk was and how we have to drink milk to go to bed at night. And everybody else was standing there looking at us like it's two grown men talking about how they have to drink milk to go to bed like babies. And he was amazing. He was very fun. Took care of me very well. He was very appreciative of everything I did with him in the ring. It was a really great guy. Really, really good guy. I can't wait to see what they do with him in the future.
Bro, the sky is the limit for that dude, man. I mean, he's I think that he's definitely getting one hell of a push right now. It was funny before bed last night after the show, I was a little worked up. I wasn't ready to go to sleep. I put on Peacock and I was watching some of the main event, the show main event from like over the last, like from January to April. I was just skimming through it. And before WrestleMania, he was already doing matches, but he was a face on main event. I didn't even know that, man. He was feuding with what's the dude's name? Apollo Crews, and he wrestled T-Bar one week, Apollo Crews a couple times, Cedric Alexander. Like he was a straight up face. And then all of a sudden the week before WrestleMania, they turned him heel, and then after WrestleMania, they finally brought him out on Raw. So that was kind of cool. But
he has a very strong vicious look too. So that
he does. Sense. Have you watched that movie that's about him? Did you know he's got that movie that they made about him, Disney? I know, Ben. I know I talked to you a little bit about it.
Yeah,
I haven't yet, but I know he's like the $1 Million Arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the story is that in his home country, they did a reality TV show, basically looking for like their next star athlete, and he won and got like a minor league baseball contract, which is pretty neat. So like, the guy's an athlete just to begin with, because you don't win $1 million playing baseball by mistake. So
yeah,
and that's pretty cool for you to be a part of like what they're building for this guy. That's pretty neat.
Heck yeah.
absolutely.
I think I think he started out as a cricket player, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had that show that you're talking about, Ben, and he got into baseball. But Ben, I don't know if you knew this, but one of Victor's stints on WWE was NXT, and he was when Lars Sullivan was looking for a tag partner, and he tagged with Lars.
Poor Lars Sullivan.
and
I actually got a promo that night too.
Right. And how did that end up? You guys won the match, and then he turned on you or something afterwards?
No, we lost the match. I was the reason why we lost the match, and he got pissed off and decided to beat me down.
Got you. All right. And then
we wrestled against heavy machinery.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that on the first time you were on the show back when we were filming at Nick's apartment. Yeah, man. I felt bad because look, I called Otis a jabroni, and Vic's like, "Nah, that's my friend, man. That's my guy." And I'm like, I felt bad about that afterwards. Nick's like,
he's really cool because I was at a SmackDown, and I was talking to my son on the phone, and he was like, "Daddy, can you get one of the wrestlers and talk to me?" I was like, "No, I can't do that, baby. Like, you can't do that here." And Otis and Tucker just happened to be walking by, and they actually got on the phone and talked to him.
That's
right. We have a whole screenshot picture of them talking to him on FaceTime, which is amazing. So yeah, I love those guys. And when I saw him this past Monday, he was like, "Hey man, good to see you. Glad you're doing good, and glad to see you back." I'm like, hopefully it'll be back on a permanent basis.
That's what's up, man. That'll be great, bro.
That's legit, yeah.
So Ben, like, this was probably his most high profile thing he had done up until this past Monday. And Vic, I know, man. I mean, I know, but whatever. He was one of Bobby Lashley's sisters. Which sister were you, Vic?
I was Jessica Lashley.
Jessica Lashley, and actually, he's right there in the red. And actually, he was the one who they let take the finisher, right? Bobby Lashley's finisher.
Yeah. Actually, I was the first one to take that. Well, I was the one that made it his finisher. I know he had been doing that big Ron Simmons spine buster as a little something, but once I took it, that was his finisher. Until he started doing the spirit again.
Nice. Hey, and look, I was shocked when I found this online, Vic, but check this out, bro. The gift is insane, bro. Look at that, man. That was awesome, bro. So
cool, man, that's like you gotta send that to me. I gotta show that to some people. I did that on purpose too.
Yeah.
And Cedric asked me once I got backstage, like, "Did you really have to play with your bra?" I said, "Do you remember it? Did you see it?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Then I did my job." That's just exactly what I was aiming to do. Do whatever I needed to do for you guys to remember me, whether it was just being a man dressed in a woman's costume or the fact that I was playing with my bra the entire time.
It was awesome, man. Yeah, I would definitely send that to you, bro. I couldn't believe I found that. Like, it was just random. What did you think of WWE tweeting out like the wrong names only thing about you, man? That was pretty cool, right? You saw that?
That was definitely dope. I was actually, after I got done with the match, I actually saw it and I was like, "Oh wow, that was fast," and it was pretty funny. Like, they called me Xavier Woods' little brother. Somebody called me a Wish, Stokely Hathaway.
They had a picture of John Bones Jones.
They said I was Omar's little brother. It was hilarious.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool, bro. But yeah, congratulations on that, man. But yeah, we had a good time. I don't know if you got to watch much of the show, but man, the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins match that came on at the end of the night after the dark main event, that was a really good match, man. I'm looking forward to their their Backlash match now even more, man.
Absolutely,
That was
those
good
two
finish.
definitely put on a really good show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was the vibe like backstage, man? Everybody seemed pretty happy. I mean, was it a good vibe?
Absolutely, everybody's really, it's pretty laid back. Not too laid back, because it is a business. Everybody's got something to do. Everybody's moving the entire time, trying to make sure they're in place and make sure that everything's set. But it was pretty laid back. It's not like what people would think. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
even the ref for my match was like, okay, well, when you get out there, just relax, be comfortable. You should sure you've done this millions of times. It's just, which is more people looking at you. Just don't be nervous. He said, if I feel like you're getting nervous, I'm just going to throw some jokes at you in the middle of the ring and stuff like that. So this way, I'm going to try to make you break character, and it's really cool, and it makes me feel good to know that somebody that I met that day,
Yep.
and I'm not even a regular person, to feel like, okay, I'm gonna make this guy feel really comfortable and make him try to break character, and by telling a joke and make him laugh in the middle of him getting thrashed by some almost 300-pound monster.
Yep. Hey, but bro, yeah, he's 300 pounds, but you made it look good, man. So that's cool, man. That's awesome, bro. Like I said, we loved the main event, the dark main event. Even the women's match before, the actual main event was good too, man. A lot of times people talk trash about those, about women's matches on WWE, but man, I liked it. I thought it was a great match, bro. Me and Steven started an Asuka chant, and bro, the whole arena started chanting Asuka after we started it, bro. I'm a big Asuka fan. I think she's pretty damn awesome, man. I think she's one of the smoothest. I think she's just one of the smoothest wrestlers I've ever seen. Like, her moves are just, and they look like she's killing the person. So, she definitely does what she's supposed to.
Absolutely. That hip attack into the to Liv Morgan's little knee thing. Oh, that was amazing. I love that spot.
Gosh, off the apron, right?
Off the apron, yeah. The timing on that was just
fantastic.
Perfect.
Yep. Hell yeah, it was, man. It was. So yeah, this weekend, WWE's having their WrestleMania Backlash Sunday night. They switched it to Sunday this time, but I think they're most of the time going to do them on Saturdays. Go ahead.
We touched base about that last night, that it was pretty smart of them not to try to compete with the UFC, especially with that main event they got going on this weekend.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
And is Bellator Saturday or Friday?
So we've actually got PFL Friday, BKFC Friday, Bellator Saturday. No, Bellator's Friday morning because it's in France.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And then we've got So we've got three events on Friday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday.
That's insanity, man. And I'm sure there's some boxing going on somewhere in the world on Saturday night too. Some kind of crazy pay-per-view that we don't even know about. But yeah, man. So the thing that jumps out at me, Vic, I wanted to talk to you about, and I wanted to get your input on this. There's only one title match on the whole card being advertised right now, and that's Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. It's my contention since last Friday night when I heard the match announced that they are going to make the Drew McIntyre and RK Bro versus the Usos and Roman Reigns like a winner take all 6-man tag. You think there's any fire to that, man? You think that's a possibility, that on Friday night they announced that to be like a winner take all the titles type deal?
I doubt it. Because if they do that, then you would have to potentially show, and I don't really see them doing that right now. Because Drew McIntyre has nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Right. Unless he would be the cause of, you know what? If they do announce it that way, and he be the cause of why they lose, that goes back to Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre's whole feud that they had before. Because if you paid attention to, was it this past Monday or last Monday?
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like they squashed the beef that they used to have or whatever like that. So that could be something that can, fire up a little bit. So anything's possible. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it does sound very intriguing. So if they do announce it as a winner take all match, I think Drew McIntyre would take the fall, or be the cause of why they took the fall. Maybe he goes for the Claymore and Roman sidesteps him, and he ends up hitting Randy Orton inadvertently, and that causes the explosion of that team.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that they've got to put more than just the women's title on the line, just one women's title, because Bianca doesn't have a match as of yet, and Raw's already gone, so I don't think they're going to put her on there unless they do just like an impromptu match, or like a pre-show, whatever. What's up, Ben?
I think if they add a title match, it'll be Austin Theory. Defending the Intercontinental title if they add a match last minute. I don't know if they'll do the winner take all thing, because I kind of saw the ending of this match. Drew would get the pin on one of the Usos. Because Roman hasn't lost, he wouldn't lose, but Drew would still be like, "Hey, I got one over on you, dude." Kind of move their storyline ahead a little bit. Because if they do a winner takes all thing and they do win, that ends the program with Drew pretty much right off. I mean,
it could. Yeah, I mean, it potentially could. I hate how they just kind of threw Nakamura to the side. They started like a little feud with him and Roman for a night, and then they just kind of swept it under the rug and switched to Drew real quick.
They've done that several times with Nakamura and Roman. They've done it when Roman was, Universal Champion. They had Nakamura come out, say something, and then it just disappeared after that. So I don't understand what that's about, and I don't understand why they changed the whole winner take all tag match. That was very, very intriguing. That was a moneymaker card right there. So I don't understand why they changed that.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try to draw that out a little bit. That was pretty much my thought. They'll do some, this 6-man tag, and then they might do, a one-on-one thing. I don't. They'll draw it out a little bit longer though before they actually combine those belts.
Yeah, if they don't do a winner take all for all the belts on this pay-per-view, I really hope that at the next pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, I hope that they do a tag match in the Hell in a Cell. That would be pretty awesome for the titles.
That would also be a good way. Maybe that's what they were thinking, because that would be a humongous blow off for that. That would be a good payoff.
Because that's the next pay-per-view after this is Hell in a Cell.
Plus, that match would be good. Those guys would all do their best in a Hell in a Cell. So
the Usos would both have to jump off the top of the cage, just like their uncle, just like their pop.
There better be an RKO out of nowhere then.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, well, let's start at the beginning. I want to get your guys' opinion on some of these matches. According to the way it's set up on Wikipedia, which usually is right but sometimes changes, the first match of the night is going to be Bobby Lashley versus Omos. Vic, I know you're doing stuff with the company, so if you don't want to make a prediction or anything like that, you don't have to, or if you want to, you can. If you want to just give us some insight about these guys, whatever. But yeah, just feel free to, talk freely however, you feel about the match. In my opinion, Omos and Bobby Lashley, you kind of have to go with Omos right now, because if he loses this match, then I feel like he's just stuck in mid-Carter mode for the rest of his career, honestly. Him losing to WrestleMania that early in his first real major match was kind of rough, but maybe it just shows that he needed MVP by his side, and, that'll do what he needs to do to beat Bobby Lashley. I'm sure it won't be a clean finish, but I got to go with Omos. Ben, what about you, man? What do you think of that match?
Yeah, that was my thought too, especially now that he's got MVP on his side or whatever. You have to give Omos this win back. It wouldn't hurt Lashley at all. You can make whatever kind of shady finish you want, and he'll still be protected. So.
Okay.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think Omos definitely needed a mouthpiece. Because he's such a big guy. You don't want to have somebody that huge to really talk too much, because it takes away from the mystique and the viciousness. But I definitely give the win to Omos. on this one, and it could be a big blow off between Omos and Bobby Lashley. Maybe at Hell in a Cell. Oh, hey, doggy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Did you guys see the report this week? You guys probably know. I don't watch a whole lot of NXT, but what is the manager's name from NXT that just got released?
Stokely Hathaway.
Stokely Hathaway.
Yeah, what was his name in NXT though?
Malcolm Bivens.
Yeah, Malcolm
Yeah.
Bivens, exactly. He came out and said that they offered him a spot on the main roster managing Omos, and he said he didn't think it was a great time for that. And then he got released about 2 weeks later.
Well,
So, what's up,
if you believe internet dirt sheets, he's headed to AEW because he was MJF's manager on the independent circuit forever and ever and ever and ever, and that's gonna end up being. I mean, if he goes anywhere, I imagine that's where he's headed. Is obviously in storyline wise, excuse me, Sean Spears isn't doing much as a manager for MJF, so it would just make sense that it would make sense for it to all work out that way.
Right.
And maybe turn something into MJF versus Sean Spears with Stokely Hathaway in MJF's corner.
Yeah, I got you. That could be cool, man. I believe
he was a great mouthpiece for the Diamond Mine, though. I mean, he did excellent work for those guys, especially considering that the guys he was given were not the guys that he was originally supposed to have. Legitimately, it was supposed to be an entire different crew.
Right.
The only guy that was in the original Diamond Mine that was in the one that's on TV now is Roderick Strong. So,
got you. That's what's up. All right, well let's talk about Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. Number one, Vic, let me ask you this: can you believe how over Madcap Moss is for the last 3 weeks?
Right, and it's a testament to Baron Corbin's ability to get people over. A lot of people kind of crap on Baron Corbin a lot, but you look at the proof in the pudding, man. I mean, nobody really cared about Madcap Moss before this. They didn't really care about him on NXT. He got there. He said some corny jokes. They hated him, and now he's one of the most over guys on a mid-card level, and he's only going to continue to move forward as long as he keeps his head down and his mouth closed and just do exactly what he needs to do.
Yep, I agree, man. I agree. But, man, you watch SmackDown, and I'd say as far as popularity goes, he's number 3 or 4 right now, on a weekly basis for the last couple weeks, which is incredible to me. But how do you see this match going, Vic?
I think you got to give it to Baron Corbin on this one. Baron Corbin's going to come out, do some slick things, and kind of stretch it out a little bit. Because you need somebody, a strong heel, that's familiar with Madcap to really get him so over that you put him in a situation where he has to get a title shot, whether it's the IC, the US, definitely not Universal Heavyweight, but definitely IC or US. So I think Baron Corbin will be that guy to kind of get him to that level right now.
That's what's up. Eddie Ruger in the building. What's up, bro? Eddie did our intro music. He said, "What's up?" or "Let's go."
What up, Eric?
But what about you, Ben? How do you feel about this match?
Originally, when I was kind of starting to see the build to this, I thought that Madcap would take this match. But I think if you let Madcap get the win now, it kind of ends whatever they've got going on. So I think they'll extend it a little bit, maybe till Hell in a Cell, and they'll do another match, and Madcap will get his win there. Because Madcap's so over, that a loss here won't hurt him any. So,
and I'm sure it'll be under shady circumstances, to say the least. But yeah, I agree with both you guys. I definitely think that Corbin's got to win this match, and it keeps him up there towards the top of the card, Corbin, because he beats pretty much everybody except for top guys. So that's a good spot for him. And like you said, Vic, I think that a U.S. title run for Madcap could be in the future. Maybe 6 months down the road. Let him just keep building up his popularity. But look, the guy is a freaking beast, man. He's built. He's jacked. He can move real well. And like I said, he's getting over with the crowd. He's got great, like, just personality. So I think it's a good idea to keep rolling with his push. But a loss here, like Ben said, I don't think it hurts anything. But this next match should be pretty interesting. AJ Styles versus Edge. I kind of like the one from WrestleMania. It was one of the longer matches at WrestleMania, I believe. Thinking back, I'm pretty sure it was. Ben, I know you were excited about this match when they booked it for WrestleMania. What do you think about this rematch with Damian Priest banned from ringside?
I think it'll be a great match. I think their first match was fine. I think it went a little too long, and that's what hurt it. It was a smidge too long, 3 or 4 minutes too long, probably. But I honestly think that the Damian Priest being banned at ringside or being banned from ringside, all that's going to do is introduce another member of this crew, the whatever Judgment Day. So AJ is going to lose again here, I feel. My pick for the next member will probably depends on which way they go, but I think it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa. That's been the rumor since like day one. But I think it'll be a great match, and I think Edge will win again. And AJ will eventually pick up his, the end of the feud win at Hell in a Cell. Right.
Well, you saw that they had Finn Balor come out and make the save the other night when he was getting jumped. So maybe if AJ does lose this match, maybe they'll do like Finn and AJ versus Damian and Edge at Hell in a Cell. That'd be kind of cool. You got a little Bullet Club reunion. Vic, what do you think of this match, bro?
I'm excited for it. I love the storyline and the build up to it. This feels like the Brood and the Ministry of Darkness rolled into something bigger and a little bit more darker. This character with Edge is really good. He's definitely pulling out the Damian and Damian Priest. I think the whole thing with Finn Balor, I think if Finn Balor does continue to stay involved in this, we bring back the Demon King and joins Edge and Damian Priest, and then now we have a very, very dangerous faction, which I don't see anybody being able to overcome, not even the Bloodline, if that was to happen, and that would be freaking amazing.
That'd be cool.
What's funny is like right before you said that and Will had mentioned, Finn Balor came out to help AJ. Yeah. I literally just thought to myself, well, he'll probably turn on AJ then.
Bro,
like he'll I mean, what kind of matches could you really have with AJ versus Finn? Like there's no way those two guys are fighting each other as faces. Like that's not going to happen. Like you could have Finn make the turn, and then just that sets up a whole new thing, and that still leaves Edge and Damian to do their own thing. You know what I mean? If they wanted to be a tag team. But it wasn't until Vic said that I was like, shit, that Finn's probably going to turn on him and be the Demon King.
Well, look, I said it the other night when he came out to make the save. Everybody's cheering for him. I'm like, please do the double drop kick thing right in AJ's face when you get in the ring. I was telling Nick and Steven, I'm like, he's not coming out there to help him. He's going out there to kick his ass, but he didn't. I was disappointed. I was hoping that he would be part of that faction just because it would, I think, those three guys, that elevates all three of them. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I definitely think that the Demon King will get involved in that feud 100%. I think you're right about that. The darkness will bring it out of him, Vic. So after that, we've talked a little bit about the Drew McIntyre. Me?
Yeah.
For that match, you got to go with Edge, because eventually AJ will get the win, but I feel like this whole thing's going to go on for a little while. If he gets the win now, then what's the point of continuing it, But so we've talked a little bit about Drew McIntyre and RK Bro versus the Usos and Roman. I'll just go ahead and say, if nothing changes as of right now, I think you got to go. And we alluded to it earlier. You got to go with RK Bro and Drew McIntyre with the win. if they do put the titles on the line, you got to go the other way. Although that would be one of the best ways to get the title off of Roman is with him not losing and somebody else in the team getting pinned. That's actually would be a genius way to get the title off of him if you want to keep him like on this undefeated streak. But until I hear differently, and it is going to be a title match, I'll go with the RK Bro and Drew McIntyre, or a like just a schmoz where nobody actually wins the match. It just gets out of control, and then they figure out gimmick matches for the next pay-per-view. Well, what about you, Ben? I'll go with you, and then we'll go down to Vic.
I mean, those are the two most logical answers. Like, maybe there'll be a dusty finish of some kind, and there's no real winner, and then like everything's, up in the air. But I honestly think that Drew will pick up the win over one of the two Usos. That way, it still protects Roman. He never takes a loss, or he doesn't have to take a loss. I mean, it's technically a loss, but he hasn't been pinned. They mention that on TV as often as they can, that the only time he's lost has been in tag matches. So,
Okay.
And that way Drew can still be like, hey man, like technically I have a win over you. So let's dance.
Yep. And Vic, what about you, man? You were saying some stuff about it earlier, but what's your official pick as of now with no titles on the line?
No titles on the line. I gotta go with the Bloodline. It still protects the whole we the ones, and we're dominating the entire company, not just the entire brand, but the entire company as far as the Bloodline goes. I think Drew McIntyre maybe makes a mistake, causes the loss. If it does get out of control, like Ben was alluding to, I think it gets to a point where everybody just starts fighting to the backstage. We haven't had that in a very long time, backstage Raw. So I think it gets so out of control, they end up fighting backstage, and we move on to the next match. And maybe they just end up fighting to the parking lot, and they get the whole locker room to kind of dump out and come pull all those guys apart. So, and we just start continuing from that to the next, like SmackDown and Raw, falling into the next pay-per-view.
All right. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think that anytime in the near future or ever, do we see Solo join the Bloodline? Solo, the Usos' little brother, what is Solo Sikoa?
No,
I think it is. You don't think he ever joins them?
Mm-mm. I think by the time he gets caught up, the Bloodline will be split.
Okay. All right. What about you, Ben? You think he'll ever join the Bloodline?
I don't, only because he's quite a bit bigger than all the rest of them.
Is he bigger than Roman? He's bigger than Roman?
Maybe not bigger than Roman.
I'm not sure.
But
I'm asking. I have no idea.
He's a big dude, and his whole gimmick is that he's like by himself, right? I mean, he does his own thing, and I don't think it would do him any favors to put them with them. I think he'd be at the bottom, he'd be buried. So I think he'd be better off doing his own thing, and kind of like Vic said, by the time they call him up, that the Bloodline would kind of be done, and he can still be his own thing.
He's actually about the same size as Roman, maybe just a little bit smaller, but probably wider. He's 6'3", 240. Let's see, Roman is how tall? Roman. Let's see. I'm looking it up now. I think Roman's about 6'3", maybe 6'4". Let's see. Okay, they bill him at 265 and 6'3". So he's about the same. He's about the same size as Roman, maybe just a little bit smaller. As far as just not quite as massive, but same height and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man. For some reason, like it seems like they're in more of a rush to call some of these younger guys up with a good following. That's why I was asking about that. You never know, man. They could call him up as backup. You don't think he's ready for the big time yet, Vic? You think he needs a little more polishing or what, man?
Definitely a little bit more time to hone his craft and get the fans to really recognize him
Okay.
as an individual.
Gotcha.
Because if you call him up now, he would have to go to the bloodline. He would
Right.
not be able to sustain by himself, especially with them being up there already. Everybody's gonna say he's part of the bloodline, and they're gonna expect him to be part of the bloodline. And every time he goes to the ring by himself, all you're gonna hear is chants about the bloodline.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. They'd probably have to change his name from Solo to something else if he's going to be part of the bloodline or any kind of crew too. That's
Yeah.
but like you said, Ben, his whole thing is, but he's by himself. I guess the name too, Solo. That makes sense. All right. So Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. They have that down here as the co-main event. Vic, I'll go ahead and start with you, man. What do you think?
That's going to be the show stealer. I give it to Cody Rhodes on this one. I think, in my opinion, I think this feud goes on until they start to form an alliance.
Okay.
I think these two eventually end up forming an alliance, and they go after the Usos.
Nice. Okay. I like that. Ben, what about you for this match, man? What do you think?
I think it would still be. I know that he got his big win at WrestleMania, but I still think it would be a little early to give Cody a loss here. I think that it'll be like the best match of the night, more than likely. But the best thing to do is to keep Cody's trajectory moving forward. We've seen it a million times that Seth doesn't need to keep winning to stay at the top and to stay a fan favorite and to stay relevant in storylines. So I think like it would benefit Cody more to keep moving on with a win here, to set up his next step forward. But again, it'll be an awesome match.
Yeah, I got you. All right. I know I'm out of left field here, and I'll go ahead and say there's probably 99% chance I'm wrong about this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's just like a random thought that popped in my head earlier. I think that Kevin Owens is going to cause Cody to lose the match, and Ezekiel, whatever, will come out there, and it'll be a way of kind of boosting his like credibility into like the upper part of the card, maybe not main eventer, but like co-main event status. And I think that he'll kind of try to help out Cody Rhodes a little bit over the next couple weeks. I don't think it'll lead to like pay-per-view matches with those two versus those two. Maybe, who knows? But I think that it'll kind of help Ezekiel get to that next level, man. And Vic, I have a theory about Ezekiel also. They kind of booked themselves into a corner with the Ezekiel thing, with the whole Ezekiel and Elias deal.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was telling these guys a couple weeks ago is it'd be great if they filmed like some vignettes or just videos of Elias before he shaves his beard and stuff like that. And like in the future, they could say, "Oh, he's with us remote from wherever," and it's the old video that nobody's ever seen before, but they're talking to him like it's live with Ezekiel in the ring. That's like the way that they could book themselves out of it. I mean, hopefully they thought about it beforehand, or they kind of, Elias had a lot of facial hair, so they could kind of dress somebody up as him. I don't know, man, but I think that they really want him to be over at the moment. I think that's why they threw him in that 6-man tag. I think that's why Owens is like kind of chasing him around with the lie detector. I think they want him to like step up and be, towards the top of the card. And he's good, man. I mean, he's good. He's got a great build. Have you had much interaction with him?
No, I did not have any interaction with him this past Monday, but he does remind me of the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
I think that whole gimmick, the tattoos around the arm and the colors, gives me Ultimate Warrior vibes. And I think if they do it right, he could be like an Ultimate. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, he'll probably be right back. Sometimes it happens, man. So if they do it right, you think he could have that kind of a character or career? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, definitely an Ultimate Warrior.
Nice. Like I said, I like him, man. I think he's pretty good, but I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, I think that Rollins will win over some trickery stuff, but it'll really just be a vehicle to get Ezekiel going forward. I mean, it could even be a disqualification, whatever, but I think he will end up getting involved in this match, as will Owens. And then we have Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, which is an I Quit match. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, is there any way Ronda really can lose? You remember back in the day when The Rock beat Mick Foley because they recorded the I Quit thing from his promo. I mean, there's ways that they could screw Ronda over, but for an I Quit match, I feel like there's almost no way she'll lose this match. So I'll go with Ronda. Vic, what about you, man? What do you think of that?
I think the biggest way to make this happen, Charlotte is either gonna have to injure her or
knock her out.
Bayley returns and causes Ronda to lose. And if Ronda does lose, we probably won't see Ronda again. She probably would quit the entire company.
Right.
On a real sense, I think if she loses this match, I think she may just walk away from the company. So I have to give the win to Ronda Rousey this time.
All right. And Ben, how about you, man? He doesn't want to say it, but he knows.
You know what? No, you know what? This is what I did at WrestleMania too, right? I said I'm not picking her because of reasons, but I feel like it's too obvious, right? Like it's so obvious that Ronda's gonna win that she can't, right? Like you can't. Where like it's so obvious. It's an I Quit match. She's a legit tough girl. Sorry, like she's legit. Like it's just so obvious, and I feel like you can't be that obvious, right? I'm gonna pick Charlotte, and I'm gonna say through some shady shit, something happens, but I'm gonna say Charlotte.
Okay. I mean, I like it, Ben. I like it. I don't know, man. I think
hey, man,
Bayley
I stay consistent. All right. If nothing, I'm consistent.
Hey, bro, that's why I told you I'm taking my boy Ty to beat Cyril Gane, even though I'm nervous as hell about that fight, man. I mean, you got to go with your guy, man. I mean, it's one of those things.
I know, man. When I saw that Josh Emmett and Calvin Kattar fight, I literally went, God damn it! I still got to pick Josh Emmett.
Hey, I mean, Calvin Kattar, man. If you're offensive, bro, and you just keep rolling with it, man, Kattar will take a beating, man. So if Josh Emmett is just offensive and doesn't give Kattar those openings, I think he could beat him. Honestly, man, I don't know if he will beat him, but I think he definitely has the ability to beat him. Let's put it that way. He's got a good style to beat him too, because he's got definitely better wrestling and more one-punch power, in my opinion. Don't you think so?
Oh yeah, he's got some of the best one-punch power in that division. So
yeah, yep. So Vic, let me ask you this, man, and you don't have to get specific on this one, but did anybody not treat you well at the show as far as talent?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No,
I mean,
I'm
not asking
really
for any names. I'm not trying to get you to, tell me, anything like that. I'm just saying if anybody wasn't cool, that's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Who were some of the cooler people to you, man? Like that were, I mean, I know you said Otis was, and that's your boy, but anybody else?
As far as like guys that I didn't already know, like Shane Helms, Cedric,
Yeah, that's right.
Mustafa Ali, guys that I've already known. I would say Cody was really cool. Cody was definitely, he approached you, he spoke. I would say Cody's probably the one that stood out the most, who actually, walked up and spoke to everybody, which is cool. Otis, he's a goof anyway, so he came with all the extras, and he looked at our physicals. He's like, this, you're beat up, you're never going to make this business. So, just having fun and stuff like that. All the guys are like that. So, yeah, nobody's actually walked around like you couldn't approach him or don't bother me or anything like that. I even had an opportunity to talk to Tommaso Ciampa. He did a little spot. They did an NXT a couple years ago in Durham. And there was a spot where it was an involvement with him and Velveteen Dream, and he did a lot of the stuff in front of my son. and like antagonized my son throughout the whole match. And Rome, he's a tough guy, so he like really, gave him some attitude back. And I was telling him now favorite moment that was for him, almost 4 years ago, before he even got into the business himself, a little 7-year-old kid. And how much of a big moment that was for him, how much he really appreciated, how much I really appreciated it. And his professionalism after the fact, coming up saying, cute kid and gave him a t-shirt, he really played it up for the show. So he was really cool. He really loved to hear that story, and it was really, really dope.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, Rome is a character, man. I keep up with him on Facebook, bro. He's always up to something, huh?
Yeah, I think I might need to build him his own Facebook page. I'm tired of people contacting me about him. I'm the star back on
it. So Superstar Rome is Victor Andrews' son. There's a picture of them posing together.
Oh,
gear.
That's legit, man.
That's what's up. And that, man, look at the facial expressions already, man.
That's what's up, man.
Vic, he's 8. Is that right?
No, he's gonna be 7 in July.
7. Okay, 7.
Yeah, man, he's been doing this for 3 years now.
So a lot of companies let him manage you, right?
Yeah, and pay him too.
That's amazing, bro. That is amazing, man. That's what's up, man. So cool, man. Hey, that right there is important, man. I mean, look, you see the stuff all the time about like how Carmella's dad was like doing some extra stuff in WWE back in the day, and look at her, man. She's like, former world champion and has done a million things, man. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
he's on the right track. That's what's up. Before we finish up, Vic, I want to know, man, where can people come watch you wrestle in the next little while, man? You wrestling this weekend? Oh, well, you're wrestling WWE. You said in where?
Norfolk, Virginia, May 16th. I'll be working for WWE. I'm not sure in what capacity, but I'll be there in the arena.
May 16th. That's Monday Night Raw. Okay.
Yeah, May 13th and the 14th. I'll be in Cleveland and Detroit for Control Your Narrative with EC3, Braun Strowman, Austin Aries. I want to say Killer Cross is going to be there. That's going to be a dope show. These guys are putting on a really dope production. The events are amazing. The crowds are always hot and hyped the entire night. All the talent that we have, all the projects, all the essential characters. It's going to be amazing. This weekend, I'm going to be in Lumberton, North Carolina for RWC. Oh, probably shouldn't have said that out loud because I'm going to be a surprise return. So hopefully nobody from RWC is watching this right now. But I'm going to be a surprise return to RWC this Saturday.
That's what's up. Hey, and Ben, I don't know if you know this, but like he was saying earlier, he's trained by C.W. Anderson, but I know Chili Willie is out of hand and helping out in some of his stuff. So I know Chili always is like liking my stuff, man. When I shout you out, bro. Chili's been on the show like a bunch of times too, man. So pretty cool crew out there with him and CW and the rest of your guys that you work out with, man. Who else is working out there now?
So right now it's been me and CW. We got a couple of guys that come in sporadically. Right now we got Hook Robinson. He's been coming through. I got a guy that's coming from Tennessee. He's coming tomorrow to kind of work out a little bit. I mean, I get guys coming from all over the U.S. They have the mindset that, and it's funny, they have the mindset thinking that they're going to come train with CW. And so they contact him and say, hey, how you doing, sir? I'd like to come train with you, da-da-da. And he tells them, well, you need to contact Victor Andrews. He's the trainer.
That's what's up, man.
And it's amazing to, help CW with some different things, giving him my perspective on, training and wrestling and the psychology of things. Like one of the things that I tell people all the time when we have our trainings and, we go out and we do like little seminars, the worst thing about professional wrestling is that there's a bunch of professional wrestlers who can't fight.
Right. Oh, I totally agree, man.
And that's what makes their matches look so bad because they don't know how to fight. They don't know, okay, I'm standing there and the guy's standing there and I don't know what to do. You should never not know what to do. Go punch him, grab him, do something like you're trying to win a fight. So
Scratch
You
him.
should never get lost. Yeah, scratch him, pinch him at least. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
What's
Hey,
eyeball?
yeah, for real, man. It reminds me of the Players Club when the girl gets beat up, she comes out all beat up, and
Yeah.
Anthony Anderson, he's like, "Did you at least scratch the bitch?" Hilarious, man. No, you're right though, man. Like a lot of these guys, they look like they've never been in a fight before, man, and so they just the mechanics of it just doesn't look right with some people, man. Those like acrobat kind of guys that don't punch, all they do is forearms, like just that kind of stuff. But hey, I wanted to ask you, have you been teaming with James at all or working with James at all lately?
No, we're still close. We're still very close. We talk just about every day. We get on the phone every morning and laugh and joke.
Yeah.
But we have not tagged in a very long time. I think it's because our career path has kind of took two different directions. He's trying to transition more into being a booker and creative writer, trying to book matches and help companies kind of put their shows together. And me, I'm just trying to do everything that I can to either make a future for myself in this thing or create the path for my son to, have his future already in line, which he's doing really well with. So
Yeah.
that's how we've been running things right now.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. They also, as a tag team, they wrestled on Ring of Honor, him and his partner, and then his former partner, and good friend James Anthony. But James also did some stuff on WWE TV too. I think he was like a paramedic at one point.
Yeah.
And it's done.
Paramedic for Seth Rollins. That was the only thing that he had, really.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right, Vic. Well, hey, thank you for stopping by, man. Hopefully, we can have you back on again soon. Good luck. So I guess it's a week from Monday. You'll be on. You'll be out there at Raw doing something. Ben, anything you wanted to say before we wrap this up? You're muted.
You're on mute, but
Ben's cutting a promo. I mean, he's on mute.
I'm muted. Sorry. Yeah. No, I was just saying that I really appreciate him stopping by. He's had a pretty busy week, and he's got another busy weekend ahead. So I know it's not always easy to fit stuff into your schedule. Be safe this weekend, man, and have a blast.
Hey, Vic, real quick, I wanted to say Ben actually is a former wrestler as well. And he was telling me some pretty cool stuff about Kid Cash. Did you ever do any shows with him?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No,
okay.
I haven't.
Ben actually tagged with him before and tells me some good stuff about him. I met Kid Cash one time at a show, but I didn't know him, you know what I mean? I just, it was a hello, how you doing? And that was the end of it type thing. I speak to everybody on the shows, but Ben has told me some pretty cool stuff about tagging with him, and I thought that was pretty cool. He also used to did you say you'd been on shows with T-Bar, Ben, or just he used to work a lot of shows in your area?
He worked a lot of shows in my area. The dude, he was a wicked cool guy. Humongous. I mean, even how big he looks on TV, he's bigger than that in real life. And the dude moves like a cruiserweight. He's just an unbelievable wrestler. Dominic Dijakovic, is that what they were calling him before in NXT?
Like
but yeah, like the dude's awesome. He was really cool too. But yeah, I just used to be a fan of his when I was watching some of the local stuff when I got a little too out of shape to wrestle.
I feel you. All right, Vic, any shout outs before you go, bro?
Yeah, shout out to you, man. For the viewers that don't know, Will actually gave me my first title match and helped me win. Put me in matches where I won my first 2 titles, got my first trophy there. He really helped me get on the map. And ever since I worked for his company for the very first time, way back in 2011.
Yeah.
September 11th, 2011 is when I met him and worked for him. And, always had really good matches, really big opportunities. Always had me, aligned with some really great people. So always a shout out to you, man. I always try to get a chance to tell you I love you and I appreciate you and everything that you've done for me, because, it wouldn't be no Bert Hanson. It wasn't for Willie G.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, bro. That's not true, man. Eventually other people would have, seen what I saw, but I love you too, bro. And I appreciate it, man. Hey, Ben, real quick. I know I said we were gonna go, but Victor had sent me a promo and said he wanted to be on the show. And like he sent me this promo that he'd already cut. And like I was like, bro, why is this guy so angry? Like, and he's supposed to be a face, but he was so intense. He's like, I'm Victor Andrews and I'm coming, I'll fight. I'm like, bro, this dude is like, he's mad at me or something, man. I don't even know what's going on. Like, I'm watching I'm like, yeah, it was like through a friend. I'm like, tell him to come to the show. And like the dude was like, yeah, he's a face. And I'm like, nah, he's gonna be a heel. And then I met him. I'm like, nah, he's definitely a face. But I was like, he's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know he was learning though, bro. Like, but his promos are amazing now compared to those. But those were like, man, they were just like out of control, bro. Like I thought he was gonna come out there and be like Sabu, like out of control, crazy, trying to kill people because he was like, it was like the angry black guy promo, man, for real. Like it was just like he was kicking the shit out of everybody, man. You know, but bro, I really appreciate it, man. I always try to do right by you, man. And look, I'm not gonna say any names, but sitting there watching Raw and you said that you were from Greensboro and all this other stuff, man. I know there was one guy in Greensboro that was probably like, that motherfucker, that should be me. I really am from Greensboro. I'm not gonna say his name. You wrestled him on my show, but I guarantee you, bro, he watched that from home and was like, this motherfucker got my spot. I was sitting there thinking like, good for you, Victor. Good for you, bro. But like I said, I love you, bro. We'll talk soon. Ben, Wednesday night, we got a lot to talk about because there's going to be results from like 5 different shows. Vic, like I said, maybe in a few months or maybe next month before the pay-per-view. Love to have you on back before Hell in a Cell, man. I want to have you and Chili Willy on together, bro. I think that would be fun to do that. Did we had that on one time, right? We had you two on together one time before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. I want to do that again. He's going to be in the area in June. I don't know if he told you that, but I can't wait to see him again, man. I haven't seen that dude in like a long ass time, man. So
yeah, me too.
Maybe we could all get together and get something to eat, bro. You know?
Definitely. That's definitely got to happen.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, you fellas be good, and we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, Ronda Rousey, #1, Ben. Later, guys.
Peace.